What's going on, everybody? How the heck are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. I hope you're blessed. Hope you're reading your Bibles. Hope you're blessed by the word of our Creator. And I hope you are praying without ceasing day after day so that you can establish that communication. And as always, there's always distractions and sounds. And right now I have a dog drinking. And he wasn't drinking just a second ago. But I'm just going to keep running with this. Because if I want no distractions, I'll probably never, ever get this done. Now, this is very interesting. Today's lesson goes, this thing looks fairly evil. Here we are, present day man, right? 6 feet men, right? And these are some of the larger skeleton structures they've recovered over the years. We have the Caesar of Rome, the Maximus Thorax, who is 8'6". That's fairly large. We know Goliath was 10'6", and the King of Og. We knew he had, what was the size of his bed? It was 13 and a half foot long bed. And then we have 1577 AD. This thing was uncovered 19 foot 6 inches. And we have 23 foot. And then they've had up to 36 feet. Now, when we were talking, the book we're about to discuss, which is the book of Enoch, which I just made it through Jubilees, and I would encourage anybody to read Jubilees. It's a really, really good book. And so, bouncing around like I always bounce around, so I am now in Enoch, and so we're just about to figure out where these things came into existence at, how exactly they came into existence. So, let us take a quick look. It happened after the sons of men had multiplied in those days that daughters were born to them, elegant and beautiful. And when the watchers, the sons of heaven, beheld them, they became enamored of them, saying to each other, "Come, let us select for ourselves women from the progeny of men, and let us beget children." Then their leader, Shimei, said to them, "I fear that you may perhaps be indisposed to the performance of this enterprise, and that I alone shall suffer for so grievous a crime." But they answered and said, "We all swear and bind ourselves by mutual execrations that we will not change our intention, but execute our projected undertaking." Then they swore all together, and all bound themselves by mutual execrations. Their whole number was 200, who descended upon Mount Ardus, which is the top of Mount Kerman. And they say Mount Hermon, but it's something of that sort. That mountain, therefore, was called Kerman, because they had sworn upon it and bound themselves by mutual execrations. Excuse me. Now, this is something very interesting to look at. In the world of the sons of, these guys call themselves the sons of Yah, or what was it? But these are extracurricular entities that our Creator has created that have free will. And the free will that they're looking at and exercising right now is that they want to breed. They want to get with the women of earth because they were beautiful. And so the evil that is amongst us and is still amongst us stems from these guys, these set of angels, these rebels, these rebellious ones. And we don't know if this has anything to do with the third that fell from heaven with Lucifer, or these were other angels that went astray and decided that they were going to do bad things. They're supposed to be something to help us, and somehow they became something that cursed us. So here's the names of the great evil. Verse 9. These are the names of their chiefs. Shimei, who was their leader. Uraka Baramel El. Akiab El. Tamia El. Ramuel El. Dan El. Azek El. Serachniel El. Asa El. Armors, Batraal, Anna, Zavebe, Samsevela, Erta El, Tur El, Yamayel, Ereziel. So these are hard names to actually say, and I try to get better with them, but I'm sure I'm slaughtering them. And my dogs are barking. Let's see what's going on. Hang tight. My apologies to everybody out there. Having 10 pit bulls that are unchained, unkenneled, is like having a, this is part of the issue. Sit down. I am so sorry, guys. Anyway, it's like having a whole bunch of 6-year-olds that are wild, and there always has to be an alpha among them. Unfortunately, that has to be me. So, back to this. These are the names of the evil ones. These guys are the ones that came and they basically destroyed the world. After sin was in the world, these guys came and they destroyed it. Verse 10, then they took women, each choosing for himself whom they began to approach and with whom they cohabitated, teaching them sorcery, incantations, and the dividing of roots and trees. So we don't need to go too much further than that. With right out of the gate is they invited themselves in, and I don't think they were the same size as giants. I think they were whatever form that they were in were the same, that they could cohabitate with the women. And he taught them stuff like sorcery, right? The great evil, incantations, things that we should have never ever known is the stuff that we picked up right out of the gate. Verse 11. And the women conceiving brought forth Nephilim, and they bore to them 3 races first. The great Nephilim. The Nephilim brought forth the Nephilim, and the Nephilim brought forth the Eliod. And they existed, increasing in power according to their greatness. And so, right out of the gate, I don't think that it is possible for the people of the size of these folks to mate with women. So I believe that when it says that the Nephilim brought forth the Nephilim, I believe it was the sons and daughters of the Watchers and the women, that those 2 species cohabitated as well, and then they brought forth the next generation, which is the Nephilim. And then, as it says, they existed, increasing in power according to their greatness. So every generation of these things were getting stronger and bigger. And when you look at Greek mythology and the stories that come out of Greek mythology, it's not too hard to see that these guys weren't just like monsters and giants among us. These things were powerful creatures, very powerful, way more than what men could handle. Verse 12. Whose stature was each 300 cubits. These devoured all the labor of men until it became impossible to feed them. Now, some versions say that the 300 cubits isn't in here. But if 300 cubits is correct, then we're talking 450 feet. When you're dealing with 450 feet, it's not too hard of an imagination to see that you could possibly build the pyramids with creatures of this size very easily. It'd be like Legos for them, right? Especially if they're 450 feet tall. They can move those bricks. They can figure out devices to move the stuff. Verse 13, when they turned themselves against men in order to devour them, right? These suckers got so big that they started eating, first of all the food of men, and then they couldn't even feed them there, and they turned against men in order to devour them. And that's what will happen in every society where food is cut off. They will get food somehow in some way, and these things began to feed them and begin to eat them. And verse 14, and begin to injure birds, beasts, reptiles, and fish, to eat one another's flesh, to drink their blood, right? The biggest abomination of all things is don't drink the blood, because there's life in the blood. Verse 15, then the earth reproved the unrighteousness. Now, this is very interesting because these chapters kind of go together, and I don't think they were made up as chapters, and so they are kind of one thing. But this is very interesting. Again, I got dogs doing what dogs do. Verse 1, moreover, Azazel taught men to make swords, knives, shields, breastplates, the fabrication of mirrors and the workmanship of bracelets and ornaments, the use of paint, the beautifying of eyebrows, stones of every valuable and select kind, and all sorts of dyes, so that the world became altered. This is incredibly important right here. He says, moreover, and it's like, not only did they just destroy the world this way, this guy, Azazel, taught them how to make weapons of war, right? Not only weapons of war, he taught the women how to seduce their men by wearing makeup, by changing their eyebrows, by putting ornaments on there, doing various things, right? All of these things that corrupt mankind, right? And I told my wife 25 years ago when I met her, she used to do the makeup thing. And I'm like, baby, don't do the makeup thing. I said, there is no beauty in makeup. You let your beauty shine without that, all that gobbledygook, guys. And guys, you guys know what I mean. It's like, what are you ending up with when you have a woman that is completely duded up with makeup on? Same for guys, right? We shouldn't be like sitting there doing all the fake stuff that we're doing, all this stuff. But this came from the fallen, right? This came from technologies that we should have never had. And so we're talking about sins that are now passed down. And if you look at a crazy world and where people are, makeup is everything, right? Everybody goes in to have their eyebrows all like designed, and it's a very interesting world out there because everybody does this stuff that we shouldn't. Verse 2, impiety increased, fornication multiplied, and they transgressed and corrupted all their ways. Now, this on top of all of this is the evil that was taught by who? The people that, these are the great masters of evil. So, I mean, within the groups of evil angels, these are the ones, right? Amazarek taught all the sorcerers and dividers of roots, armors, the solution of sorcery. And who knows what that is? I mean, these guys and their sorcery and the stuff they do today. I mean, pentagrams and blood and this and that and candles, and it's not good. Barakel, the observers of the stars. Akia Biel, signs. Tamiel taught astronomy, and Asardel taught the motion of the moon. And men, being destroyed, cried out, and their voice reached to heaven. And I'm going to go one more on this. Hopefully I haven't lost everybody yet, because this is very interesting, because this will show us the ways of Yah and how Yah works. And sometimes when we do not get answers to prayers, or we do not hear from our Creator in the way that we think we should be hearing from the Creator, take a number, because it's not just us. These are the main men. These are the made men of Yah, right here. Then Michael and Gabriel and Raphael, Siriel and Uriel looked down from heaven and saw the quantity of blood which was shed on earth, and all the iniquity which was done upon it, and said one to another, the voice of their cries, the earth deprived has cried even to the gate of heaven. And now to you, O Holy One of heaven, the souls of men complain, saying, bring judgment to us from El Elyon. Then they said to their Adonai, the king, Adonai, ha Adoniam, Elohai, ha Elohim, Melech ha Melekim. The throne of your glory is forever and ever, and forever and ever is your name, sanctified and glorified. You are blessed and glorified. You have made all things. You possess power over all things, and all things are open and manifest before you. You behold all things, and nothing can be concealed from you. Guys, these are the made men of our Creator that is making a very bold statement. Basically, it's reiterating everything that our Creator has said about all powerful, all knowing. He's got omnipotent power, and they're reiterating the power and what they have. Verse 5, you have seen what Azazel has done, how he has taught every species of iniquity upon earth, and has disclosed to the world all the secret things which are done in the heavens. Shemiyaza has taught sorcery, to whom you have given authority over those who are associated with him. They have gone together to the daughters of men, have lain with them, have become polluted. These guys are just like, Father, listen, look at this. Verse 7, and have revealed their sins to them. The women likewise have brought forth Nephilim. Thus the whole earth has been filled with blood and with iniquity. And now behold, the souls of those who are dead cry out and complain even to the gate of heaven. Their groaning ascends, nor can they escape from the unrighteousness which is committed on earth. You know all things before they exist. You know that these things and what has been done by them. Listen, yet you do not speak to us. Guys, I want to pause right here. We're almost done. But this is where, if we do not receive answers, where we do not receive the what we think is an answer in the way that we think, these are the made men of our Creator, and they did not receive an answer either. There's generations that have passed by here that these angels have not heard from the Creator on how to deal with this situation. Maybe they've talked about other things. Maybe there's a routine or a plan or a company meeting or something that they've had discussing other stuff. But as far as this goes, and the iniquity on the earth and the blood and the voices and the souls that are crying from the dead after the monsters that came and annihilated all the humans of our Creator, they're very frustrated, right? They're very frustrated. Verse 14, what on account of these things ought we to do to them? Right? They're saying, they're seeing all this. They don't know what to do. They can't believe what's happening. And the Creator has not reached out to them to how do we stop the cries from the souls that are crying out for this iniquity that has happened to them? Right? And then can you imagine a world where things are 450 feet tall? Man had no chance. Even monsters at 36 feet tall, where we go right here, we had no chance. We had no chance against that. This is us, right? We're this little fella right here. Right? Even to the 15-foot guys. I mean, we don't even go up to their hip bones. We don't even go up to the hip bones. And what about here? I mean, we would be on a shin bone, right, of the 36-foot fella. And that was just the beginning of these things. And so this is why our Creator had to go to war against all of those different generations. That is why he had a chosen people that were not DNA structured flawed. Right? They did not have the giant genes in them. And even though he flooded the world and wiped out most of the evil, there was still offspring that people believe came from Ham, which it had to have, because all the giants are down into Cush. So probably the woman that Ham took before he went onto the ark somehow had giant DNA. And our Creator was set forever. Take them out. Kill their men, women, children, everything. Kill everything that they have. And that's why. Is because he was trying to flush this world of this giant DNA that probably still pollutes us today. Some sort of reptile, giant DNA. I mean, there's DNA that is altered. And now we have a snake bite, right? We have a literal snake bite that people are willingly accepting, and they're changing. People are changing amongst us, right? The gene pool for our kids is long gone. Like if you want to have some weird strain of child or grandchild or whatever, then I guess allow the kids to go to the dating pool. Because as in the days of Noah, these days are here and they are here today. And whatever it is the snake bite is doing, which it's not, we won't know until the very end. It'll be like, ha ha ha. Oh, we'll be like, oh, yeah, I guess they got us good. We won't know. We don't know. It's something important, but it's all part of it. But for those with eyes to see and ears to hear, you need to thank your Creator because he has allowed you guys to see this. And so many are marching to the gallows. So many are just taking it and they don't see a thing. They keep the one-eyed sleep snatcher TV working on the wall, and that is their God. That is their God. And unfortunately, our God is not on TV. Or anywhere around. Our God is not in paper or wood or any kind of idols. Our God is a living Elohim of the Shemaim, and he sees and he knows and he wants your heart. He wants to seek you. And how do we get into grace with our Creator? We call upon the name of Yahushua. We call upon the name of the Son of God, the one and only Son. There's no Trinity. It's not the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit all in one. It is the Father who is one. He says, Shema Yisrael, Yahuwah Elohim is one. He's one, right? And then we have the Son of the Most High, who he let get slaughtered and became a bloody sacrifice. If you wonder why you can't keep Levitical laws, because number one, we don't have priests. Number two, at this moment in time, our sacrifice was our Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach, when he died upon that stake, upon that tree, on the cross, whatever you want to call it, when he died for the sins of the world. That is so that we can break the curse of the curses of the Torah. The curses of the Torah are spiritual death, and the blessings of the Messiah and the blood of the Messiah breaks the spiritual death, which means we only have to die a physical death. We're not going to die too. But that does not give us a card that we can live in sin. That does not give us a free pass that we can do whatever it is we want to do, because that's just the way we can do it. There's no such thing. If you're not eating clean, if you're not doing what our Creator has said to do, if you're not keeping his feasts and his Shabbats and his new moons and all of these things, then you're not in sync with our Creator, and you're not going to be at the kingdom call whenever the kingdom is calling. The only way for us to ever know what we need to do is by picking up that Bible and reading Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, and then wash, rinse, and repeat again and again and again until you are so founded in this that you can talk to anybody and you can immediately discern if this is Torah-based or if this is not. But that does not take the amazing work that our Messiah did for us. And he will be our king. In Mount Zion, when the end is here, he will have to come and be the final weapon of war against a whole bunch of very bad people. And most of us aren't going to survive. And we must come to a understanding that it does not matter what happens to this flesh and blood in this world. It must come to pass, and it will come to pass. None of us will make it out of this alive, maybe, but don't count on it, because if you're counting on it, then you're going to be like the Christians that are waiting on this fake rapture. They're not prepared. They have nothing ready, and you tell them that about anything about this going on, they're like, it doesn't matter. The rapture is going to come, and the Antichrist won't come until the rapture comes. And we have preachers like J.D. Farag that's sitting there telling people the rapture is coming as they're worshiping on the wrong day. There's not going to be a rapture for disobedient people. If you're not 100% in line with our Creator and his Son, there wouldn't be a rapture anyway. There's no place in the Bible that ever says a bunch of bad people are going to get something good. And bad people, I know Christians are good people in heart. They want to be good people, but they've just been led astray because we're not taught in the Christian religion to pick up our Bible and read it and understand it. We're taught that the Old Testament is done away with. It's the old stuff. It doesn't matter anymore because those were the old laws. That was Moshe. But you know what? 4 verses before the New Testament, it says keep the law, statutes, and commands. It says hundreds of times, if only you would keep my law, statutes, and commands. I will be your God. You will be my people. That's the only requirement to be a child of the Most High, is that you will keep his laws, statutes, and commands and walk with him. He will walk with you. He will bless your life. He will walk with you. He will talk with you. He will gift you. He will love you, and he will protect you. And this is what we need in these end times. Nothing's going to stop the snake bite. The snake bite's coming. Cobra Commander is in charge of the world right now, and he's going to have his moment. So we must be ready with the word of God and everything we do. Folks, I love you guys. I hope you guys are good. I'm out.